Hi, I'm Grace and welcome back to SpiceBox TV, where today I'm joined by the amazing Alora from the Arty Vegan, and today we're going to be showing you how to make a vegan Saag Paneer. I'm joined by Alora today is because all month we've teamed up to bring you an amazing special menu at the SpiceBox Curry House featuring their tofu in 2 paneer dishes. So we've got a mutta paneer, which is a delicious creamy paneer dish with fresh peas, and the recipe that we're showing you today, the Saag Paneer. So make sure you come down to the SpiceBox Curry House to try them out for yourself. Great, so I'm going to get started by preparing the amazing tofu, and Alora, this seems like a good opportunity for you to tell me a bit more about who the Arty Vegan is and what you guys are up to.
Well, the Arty Vegan is both me and my dad. I'm Alora and my father is called Maurelio. And the Arty Vegan sort of came about because my dad had a vision of bringing back stuff that he learnt when he was travelling and whilst I was travelling as a kid in Japan and all over the world, where he learnt how to make tofu. But what makes it special is the fact that it's completely artisanal, it's made by hand, it's unprocessed and contains only 3 ingredients: soybeans, water and nigari, which is a type of salt. So that's what we do. On top of that, we sell a whole bunch of other things, and I suppose the vision is that one day we have a little deli or something, all healthy, all good for you, and working with the community so that we aren't just a business, but we want to be good for the environment. We want to work with people who enjoy food and plant-based food.
Great. And I think the reason why we wanted to work with you in particular is because I've never tried, tofu usually has these kind of preconceptions of being a bit boring and bland or tricky to cook with, but as soon as I tried this tofu, it just stands out completely above the rest. So just to fill you in on what we're doing, so I've drained the tofu on some kitchen roll, and it's already quite firm, isn't it, this tofu?
Yeah, it's a firm tofu, so we don't do the silken type, but you can make it even firmer if you press it.
So we've got the pressed drained tofu here, and we're just going to add it to a pan of hot oil. We're going to fry it off to get a nice golden crust on it, and then put it aside and add it back into the spinach. So the oil, is nice and hot. You want it to sizzle when it goes into the pan, and we're just going to fry it on the fat side first. Get a nice golden crust on it. I've also seasoned it with a bit of salt.
Lovely.
Because I do think it just really brings out that amazing natural flavour and, like you said, the creaminess. So the tofu is now golden on all sides, so I'm just going to take the pan off the heat, and we're just going to add it onto some kitchen paper to drain. You don't want, obviously, the excess oil in the tofu. And while I do this, Alora, it's probably a good chance for you to kind of take me through, how do you make tofu? I know you explained a bit earlier, but just what's the process involved? Because you make it at home at the moment,
We do, At the moment it's just at home in the kitchen. It's getting a little bit crazy. But how do we make tofu? So we get the dried soybeans and we soak them overnight. Yeah. And we wash it a few times. We sift out the ones that are a bit sort of funny looking. And then it goes through a process the following day. We blend about 2 cups of beans to about 1 litre or 2 litres of water, depending on how big your blender is. And it's a process of making the soy milk. It then goes into a large pot and it boils. We say you should boil it about 3 times just to make sure it's really well boiled. So it'll boil up, you turn it down, boil up, turn it down. And then you add nigari with boiling water to dilute it, and you add that to the milk, and you wait and you watch, because it's quite magical, really. That's the process where, after all of that laborious work, where you're blending and squeezing, the tofu coagulates, and you're left with this amber yellow water that's the whey, the kind of whey, which you then tip away. Not a Milky Way, a vegan way. And then, you scoop out that tofu into these little molds and you just press it. We press it for about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes.
And does that determine what's a firm tofu and a silken tofu?
Yeah, I think with the silken tofu, it's a very different process, and I think you have to add quite a few more things. But with firm tofu, yes, depending on how much you press it, and depending on how the ratio of water to bean, how creamy the milk is, you'll make a different kind of firmness of tofu. So once that's pressed, it'll be hot. So you leave it in a cold bucket of water, and bucket or gastro or whatever you've got at home, a container. It's quite a simple method really, and then it's ready to go.
Amazing, amazing. So what I've just done while you're talking
Yep.
is I've peeled some garlic and put some ginger, about a thumb-sized piece of ginger in this blender, just a splash of water, and now I'm just going to make a garlic ginger paste that's going to form the basis of the saag. So that's done. And now we're just going to fry some whole spices in hot oil to form the base of the curry. I'm going to start, we're keeping it really simple, we're just going with 2 spices for now. So we're going with about 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, or a large pinch if you're me, and then about half the amount of fenugreek seed. So fenugreek works really well in saag paneer, so we're going to let those just fry and get lovely and golden before adding the garlic and ginger paste. So these are nice and golden, so we're going to add the garlic ginger paste. I love lots of ginger in my saag. I think it really brings out the freshness of the spinach. So I've gone actually a bit more ginger than garlic in this one. So while that's cooking out, Laura, can you just talk to me about soy? Because, you know, I'm vegan, I eat a lot of tofu, I drink a lot of soy milk, but I hear all these various rumours of people saying that soy is really bad for you, you shouldn't eat too much tofu. So, like, what's your views on that?
I think I would not disagree with you. Soy has a bad rep, but I think that the way in which people know soy is very commercialized, and I think it's very processed. And I think the difference between unprocessed and processed soy is massive. Just the mere amount of fats and minerals and everything that is involved in the raw product of the soybean, half of that is removed through processing. So you end up with something that's completely unbalanced when you get tofu that you buy from the shops. But if you make it by hand and you don't do any of that processing and you keep it as a whole food, you end up with something quite good for you.
In short, tofu is not bad for you if you buy Arti Vegan, homemade artisan tofu.
Yes. No, well, or if you make your own, which we're big advocates too. You know, unprocessed is key. I think that's what the Arti Vegan stands for.
So I've just added 1 whole green chilli to there, obviously.
Spicy.
Yeah, it's gonna have a nice kick. You like spice though, am
I love spice.
Great.
The Arti Vegan also sells a little hot chutney, extremely hot, made with Scotch bonnets.
Great, nice little plug there.
As always.
So now, while that's cooking out, we're gonna just prep the spinach. You need a lot of spinach because it goes down to nothing. So for 2 people, you need about 600 grams of whole leaf spinach. So before we add the spinach into the pan, we're just going to go in with about half a teaspoon of turmeric. Let that cook out. And also add a splash of water before we put the spinach in. So obviously we're making saag paneer today with your delicious tofu, but what other dishes do you use it in? I know it's obviously great as a paneer replacement, which is what we're doing in the curry house, but how else do you cook it at home?
I mean, quite frankly, I think a lot of us at home just like it on its own with a bit of soy sauce, a little bit of ginger, grated ginger, spring onions, and sliced very thin nori, the dried seaweed, so sort of Japanese style. But there's loads of things that you can do, that you can blend it. One of my favorites is actually to blend it with dark chocolate, melted chocolate, and you can make a chocolate mousse if you leave it in the fridge.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so versatile. Right, that's ready. So I've added a splash of water because obviously you want something for the spinach to wilt into. So we're going to add it all to the pan now, turn up the heat a bit, and just let that wilt down into the pan. So the spinach is now wilted down, and look, it looks so beautiful.
It does, so fresh.
Really fresh. So now we're going to add the tofu paneer back into the pan. And at this stage, you could add garam masala, and that's traditionally what you finish off this dish with. But I think nutmeg and spinach are the most perfect partners. So we're going to use nutmeg today. So just a light grating over. And then the last thing we're going to add is a generous squeeze of lemon juice. This is actually what I love to eat in the summer. You know, some Indian curries can be a bit heavier and not what you usually cook in the summer, but this is just so fresh and light. So I'm just going to give this a taste for seasoning. No, it's actually perfect. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to serve this up. How do you like eating your saag paneer, Laura?
I quite like it with a chapati or paratha.
Great, I'm going to see what I've got. Wait there. In true Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. Delicious paratha. So there you go, Laura, a delicious saag paneer made with your amazing tofu. Can you quickly tell our viewers how do they find out more about the RT Vegan?
Just go on Instagram at the RT Vegan.
Great, and as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel for more delicious plant-based Indian recipes. And make sure you come down to the SpiceBox Curry House this month to try this dish for yourself.